Are you ready to get casual? Grab your favorite adult beverage or combustible plant and join us for our roundtable TTRPG discussion. Oh yeah, it's time for Casual Friday. And now, here are your hosts.
Hey,
What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan. That's Mr. Wolf. Jim's not here, so we are finally calling it. It's over. D&D is dead. Had a good run, 50 years. I mean,
yeah,
hey,
hey.
uh,
Feels a
but
little premature to kick the bucket at 50, but uh,
uh, there is some chatter out there about D&D and more niching down Dragon Tube, Dungeon Tube, however you want to talk about it. Professor GM said it's over, kind of, not really, but maybe. Bob said no, not at all. But actually, maybe you kind of have a point when I dive into the numbers, which was interesting. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff happens this year beyond the death of the dragon. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get casual here, casual Friday. And up first, we're gonna do a little like year in review. It's always an exercise to be like, what did January look like last? What did last January look like? Where's the line here? And we took a little inventory of games we have played this year. So I'll kick it off. I did a lot of 5e 2024 this year and some 2014. I played a little bit of 2014 in January, and then I transitioned to 2024. But I played a bunch of other stuff some of the time with you.
that's
So
right.
what's first on your list there on top of the D&D sphere?
I definitely played 20, like you just said. I was still playing 2014. Kind of wrapped up a campaign, started a new one using 2024. Really was not feeling it, and switched to Shadow Dark, and then we had the stuff we did together, right? We did Nimble, and we did Daggerheart, and of
Yeah.
course our own game, You Dare. We did that together. I also played a lot of You Dare one shots with my home group, and we had a blast with You Dare, absolute blast. Um, oh, I also did a throwback and played the '80s Marvel superheroes this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was fun. Um, had to dig up some old PDFs because all my original books are beat to hell because I played it so much as a kid. But yeah, that was fun.
Big shout out. I don't know if he's in here yet, but Twin Steel ran us through a game of Nimble when it officially released. I was lucky enough, and it may have been last year again. Time went all Jeremy bury me on me along somewhere back in the pandemic. So I don't know where the line is exactly, but I got to play Nimble, a stripped down like combat emulator version of Nimble with the creator Evan. Thanks to Judd and some other cool folks. That was awesome and may have been this year? Question mark. Um, uh, the other night I played Dungeon Crawl Classics. We did a level zero funnel thanks to my buddy Ed, and we had a blast and like had a surprisingly high survival rate. A lot of our level zero
Nice.
guys got through, through luck and smart play. Not that we went in there ready to die. Um, my buddy Bill ran me through Mothership, a short little mini campaign, and that was a blast. And Jim ran us through Daggerheart,
That's
and
right.
those are some of my favorite. It turns out, yeah, when the one page one shot club plays more than one consecutive game with the same characters, it turns out you get way more invested in those characters. Um,
Yeah,
I also played.
I highly recommend watching our 4-part Daggerheart series. It like I thought we we did an amazing job learning the system, and our characters felt very emotional. Like I was definitely, not to spoil the ending, I was definitely very emotional at the end there. Like I was attached to our characters, and the end was a little dramatic.
Yeah, Yeah, it was a heck of a story, and it was a kind of surprising because we are test driving the system at the same time. We don't go
Mhm.
like super deep, but we are inadvertently, if not on purpose, making comments about how the system is running while we're playing the game because it is our really our first experience with it. Jim had sunk his teeth into it a little deeper to run the thing, but a lot of us we weren't going in blind. We did our homework to like keep it moving, but we were experiencing it for the first time and kind of reflecting on it out loud as we were doing so. And the fact that simultaneously it was a deeply moving narrative and a ton of fun,
Mhm.
I think says a lot about Jim's world, which I'm trying to convince him to do something with. And Daggerheart, I am very pleasantly surprised at how good Daggerheart runs. It's not for everybody, not every game's for everybody, but I really enjoyed that. Twin Steel's here finally. I'm going to gush about Nimble too. Nimble was dope. If you like 5e, but you just like wish it were a little lighter, not so goddamn heavy, and you're struggling to, I don't know, resolve things, and combat takes 3 hours. Nimble, it's what it says on the can. It delivers, man. Nimble cooks.
It does.
Um,
And you were about to mention something else too, right? When I jumped in, other than was that?
I got to play Dungeon Crawl Classics with Bob Worldbuilder this year too, which was a blast. Just because he's a great dude, and Judd and Delver, who's also big fans of those guys. And Dungeon Crawl Classics is so fun. It's just the right amount of gonzo. I like a system where like magic is weird and dangerous, and like every time you cast ventriloquism, I don't know, the most basic spell, it could fizzle out and die, and you could never cast it again, or you could crit. I like it. I like it being weird. The fighter having the heroic deeds makes that martial class way more interesting, incentivizes the player to do cool stuff narratively by giving them a mechanical benefit every time they do so. Very cool game if you haven't looked into that. And then the other main thing I ran this year was Dolmenwood, which was like kind of the tail end of last year into this year. And I've run some one shots. I ran us through the Waking of Willoughby Hall,
Mm-hmm.
which is Ben Milton's Questing Beasts. Shout out to Questing Beasts. I just did an ad with him recently. His one shot, which is incredible and fits right in there with Dolmenwood.
Mm-hmm.
But I ran that for us using old school essentials. And shout out to a really great product that I don't see people talk about much because I think this sort of product is not super popular for bad reasons. The Rogues Gallery from Old School Essentials is a set of pre-gen characters. It's kind of one of everything. I've used it to run for a lot of new people who are new to the game. We're at a party. Maybe like she's played D&D with us for years, but her husband's never played before. We sit down. I just find it's so much easier to skip character creation when you're trying to get somebody,
Mm-hmm.
get them playing first. And those, I mean, Brad, you ran one of those characters. How did you find
Oh,
being handed a little weirdo?
I love that character. It was because there's not a whole lot on the character sheet other than stats. There's a very brief description, and then there's a weird collection of things in the character's inventory. And so for me, I like read the description. I'm like, oh, this is just a cute little halfling. But then he's got like a bag of teeth in his inventory, and like some other weird stuff. I'm like, maybe this. Well, anyway, I ended up playing the character kind of almost serial killer vibes, like super charming on the outside, but very dark on the inside. I had a blast with that character. Thinking other thing. Oh, the other thing I did this year, I had done a bunch of Shadow Dark one shots last year, but this year I actually started a Shadow Dark campaign. Once I realized I wasn't a big fan of the 2024 rules, and really wanted a break from 5e. So definitely played a lot of Shadow Dark this year. And I also started playing Vampire the Masquerade for the first time. In fact, we started it to build up to Halloween, and then we liked it so much we wanted to keep playing. So I think we're into like session 5. We played session 5 last night of Vampire, and it's getting really good. And the great thing about Vampire is it's like, I mean, it's a TTRPG, right? But there's, at least the way our game master runs it, there's so little combat because you're like a neophyte. You're like this young vampire trying to survive in this like world of like 100 and 1,000-year-old vampires. So a lot of it is role play and subterfuge. It's been really fun.
Nice. Yeah, I like. We were talking around the edges of this as we were getting ready to record. I like a game that knows what genre it is. Like Dungeon Crawl Classics injects that gonzo. Mothership, like, you know what movie you're in. You know what your character would do because ultimately you know where things are going. The xenomorph is probably going to get you, right? Vampire the Masquerades, Call of Cthulhu, very similar ideas. D&D, modern D&D, especially 2024 D&D, is pretty kitchen sinky, which is good and bad. I'm kind of like neutral on that front. But it does feel like things are getting pushed into a more superhero-y, like not even high fantasy, but like high heroic. Avengers is always my stand-in for like the part that I don't love as much, and why I'm gravitating towards more like old school, just like lower fantasy, not even lower magic, but just like, I don't know. It feels like D&D 2024 is stuck on easy mode or even like God mode. It takes, I don't know. It has its teeth, it has its fangs filed off, to make a vampire metaphor.
Yeah. To answer Mr. Welch's question, I am actually playing a Brujah vampire. But for these first few sessions, because all the other players are very not combat oriented, I've just been playing my character as like seething like all this rage under the surface. So it's like, it's only a matter of time before my character is going to just like start a brawl for sure.
Love it. What the biggest game I haven't played that I spent the most time thinking about? Oh, actually, that's not true. Is maybe Heart. Actually, I fell in love with that book and read it almost cover to cover. But Draw Steel dropped this year. I finally got my physical copies, and I'm looking forward to playing it. But it's the layout has been panned for good reason. It's not as like pleasurable to sit there with that book for some reason, which was a surprise to me.
It is a surprise considering, like, I felt like the layout of their other books was pretty good. Like their monster book especially seemed laid out very well.
And it feels like a quibble, but it is like user experience. Just like sitting there, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time to learn this game because I'm gonna have to drag a bunch of other people along with me out of whatever game they're playing right now. But I did back the new adventure, even if I don't use the system. I think I'll be using content. I mean, I steal monster ideas all the time from Flea Mortals, and I will soon be doing it for Draw Steel as well. Anything else on your list that we didn't get to?
Well, I was going to throw out to chat, like based on Draw Steel's comment right there. What do you guys want to play next year? What's on your short list? What are the 2 or 3 games that you really want to make time to play next year? And while you guys are throwing that in the chat, I'm going to follow up on Ryan's layout comment. I think layout and design, the 2 most important aspects is, one, make things organized and concise as much as possible. Don't have stuff bleed from one page to the flip, right? I don't want to have to turn the page to finish reading the section that I'm reading. Keep things structured and organized, very much like Old School Essential does an excellent job of that in their books. So does Shadow Dark. So that's, I think, is the most important part of layout. And then the other part of layout, especially when you start including the art in it, is make me feel the setting while I'm reading. Give me content, like, sure, short, concise, good content, but throw enough flavor in the wording and throw enough art in the right spaces that as I'm reading your book, I feel where you're going with the setting. Is it supposed to be dark and grim? Is it supposed to be vibrant and fanciful? I think Nimble does that really well. Right? Nimble's supposed to be that vibrant and fanciful, and they do a really good job of capturing that tone with the descriptions, the layout, and the artwork.
Yeah, agreed wholeheartedly. I think Shadow Dark on the other end of the spectrum does a great job of telling you what kind of game it is. I guess the Morkborg and the various Borgs are the extreme, where it's maybe style over substance at a certain point. There's a line somewhere. I don't know where that line is, but I know what side of it they're on. And that's not a dig. It's incredible stuff, but it's an art project half the time.
Yeah, my ADHD brain can't read the Morkborg books. I because I have ADHD and dyslexia, so the Morkborg books really like bake my brain. So it wasn't the role playing game. There's a tabletop strategy game set in the same setting. I forget what it's called, but I made a comment in a Facebook group about how I really want to play this game, but I'm having a hard time getting through the book. And the creator contacted me and said, "I'll send you the bare bones PDF." And he actually sent me it's all the same content. It's just laid out with like black letters on a white page. And so I was able to test out that skirmish game. I wish I could remember what it was called.
It's not I just went right out of my head because we've talked about Shadow of Rangers Deep.
Oh, Shadow Deep. Rangers of Shadow Deep is the one you're thinking of.
Rangers of Shadow Deep.
Yeah,
that wasn't this year.
No, that one's not based in the Morkborg setting. I think it's called Seventh Psalm. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to look it up real quick.
Super Atomic.
Forbidden Song.
Forbidden Song. I don't know it.
Forbidden Song, yeah.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, because this is not my area of expertise, but I believe that there's like a font or multiple fonts that like just make it much easier for dyslexic folks to read words on a page. Like the differentiation between the letters is much more distinct.
Yeah. A friend of mine is a gamer, and he's also a professor at our local university. And he's actually done research, with the help of grants on layout and design for people with visual impairments and dyslexia and all that sort of stuff. So he's actually researched like what are the best ways to lay out a book for people who might have some sort of impairment. Cool stuff. We keep saying we're going to game. We keep saying we're going to game together, but we haven't made it happen yet.
Tale as old as time. Get him to do a research study on scheduling and making games happen. Maybe if there's a grant, he'll get it together. All
right.
Okay,
so,
any other games before we declare funerary rites here? I like dirge music.
Well, I was gonna see what the people are saying in chat about games they want to play next year. So we got Wraith, Heart. What is that other one? How do you pronounce that? The one Twin Seals talking about there?
I think it's. In my brain, I say narwhal, that's not it. But nahual, it's indigenous, so I don't know what the proper pronunciation is. Even though I'm a kid from Long Island, I'm good at saying in Native American words in a Long Island accent. But nahual. Yeah, I was pretty close with narwhal. Beautiful. Another game that is letting you know what it is with its art style, bringing you into the world opposed to the.
Nice.
Kind of making you figure out where you are in it.
I haven't heard of that one. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's a good lead. And then what we got? Welch mentioned Superatomic, Max Power, World of Cinnabar.
I don't know about
Interesting.
the Cinnabar.
Oh,
Super Atomic.
go ahead. Go ahead.
That is by mutual friend the mighty Glue Stick. Is it not? Is that AJ's thing, or am I getting Glenn
Is it?
and or Nacho? Help me out. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. There's so many things in the mix, and there's a lot to look forward to for next year. Maybe he was just running it. Maybe God, my signals are. Tales from Elsewhere. Oh no, next year. Next year. It's so funny. I'm constantly reminding myself it's 2025. Tales from There's a lot of cool stuff. Maybe the first Casual Friday in the new year we'll talk about the new upcoming stuff because there's a lot of stuff on the docket.
Seven Delving Sins. You guys are hitting me with games I haven't heard of. I'm gonna check some of this stuff out. That's cool.
Yeah, love it.
I'm very looking forward to Peter's game, Tales from Elsewhere. I'm super excited for that. I've been following his game design and I'm really impressed and really want to play that. I wonder if we could get him to run it for us and we could record it as part of the One Page One Shot Club.
I bet he'd be down.
Yeah.
I bet he'd be down. I know he is quite busy fulfilling that game, but maybe in the aftermath of all of that, after he takes a little vacation, well earned, he could hang out with us.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new Deathbringer coming. There's a new edition of Deathbringer coming. How's that for transitions? Yeah, I'm the host.
There you go. Speaking of Professor DM, tell us what the latest gossip is, Ryan.
Well, Professor DM has been very upfront and vocal and transparent about not only the state of D&D and the industry, but also the state of his channel and YouTube in general and how he sees things. And his latest offering focuses in on the fact that YouTube is a many-headed monster that is changing and is potentially dying for us. I prefer Dragon Tuber to Dungeon Tuber so much more, but Dungeon Tuber seems to be what everybody else is saying. Missed opportunity, but yeah, his videos that aren't decrying the latest bad thing that WotC did don't perform nearly as well, which is, something we've talked about time to time on this news-focused show. Misery loves company. People love complaining, and once you get a taste of those big numbers, it's hard to go back to, he used to do a ton of crafting videos, campaign diaries, and more like generalized DM advice, and it just doesn't hit the same.
Right.
And he offers some reasons why. And then Bob came out with a retort, which was very interesting as well, which is part of the conversation. But I don't know. Did I leave anything else in that synopsis?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well. So so basically, Professor DM crunches his numbers from his channel, looks at a few other of the bigger channels, and comes to the conclusion that there might be a little bit of oversaturation in this niche market, and people's tastes. That was my interpretation. Is he's basically saying people's tastes are changing, right? People aren't watching crafting videos as much anymore. People will watch the news stuff. The problem with that is it's not evergreen. So you launch a news video, you get a big numbers up front, but then it tails off pretty fast because now it's old news. And the videos of his that does best overall because it's evergreen and sustainable are the advice videos. The problem is there's a bunch of us now, and there's so many advice videos out there. And so you got to wonder if maybe those channels that were really doing well on doing the advice videos, like Professor DMs and others, who shifted to the drama crisis videos are now having to maybe rebrand to get out of that news cycle, because the news cycle really isn't that strong anymore. People are kind of over D&D and all the drama, I think. And I mean, I know I don't want to watch any more D&D drama videos. When the drama comes up, like we just poke fun at it here. We're not like, we're not trying to sell clicks based on the drama. We're like more making fun of the drama, which of course doesn't work for our numbers, but whatever. We're honest.
Yeah, I mean, when I make a clickbait thumbnail, it's mostly in jest, guys, and I think everybody knows that. Yeah, we're past the point of trying to. I don't know. we're way too damn reasonable and balanced on this show. That's the problem.
I mean, the name on the tin is casual, so it's hard to be dramatic when like our whole vibe is chill.
Even when we get worked up about something, like 10 minutes into the conversation, we're like, but you know what? It's fine. It's just fun and games, guys. Calm down. It's just so hard. It's so hard to sustain the outrage for the internet. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's not the vibe.
Yeah. So I wonder, Ryan, maybe we should start doing some more of the building ideas and advice stuff. Maybe shift our show a little bit to a little more roundtable discussion. Like longer on the roundtable discussion and less on the news.
I like it. I feel bad discussing the future of Casual Friday without Jim here because he's the godfather of it all. But yeah, I mean, and we've been going that way. I think we whatever the conversation is, we end up back into either like DME advicey, like, okay, here's how you address these things constructively, or every so often we're just like, let's just make some cool shit. And that's some of my favorite parts. So yeah, I don't know, maybe in 2026 Casual Friday looks different and there's some more of that. And we could start right now. Well, let's talk about Bob's retort, which retort's a very strong word because I feel like a lot of the points in Bob's videos were at least hinted at, if not conceded, by Professor DM. I mean, there's a reason he's the man's wearing a jacket. He's in a blazer. He knows what he's talking about. All right. he's presenting well-reasoned arguments, but the idea that it's bad for everybody turns out is maybe not the case. There's a seasonality and an ebb and a flow, and we're just maybe past the peak of D&D's explosive growth outside of COVID, and then at least on the YouTube commentary side of things, the OGL was throwing gasoline on a fire, which you get results very quickly. You just might not like the long-term effects of throwing gasoline on a fire. So I think that's part of what we're seeing here. And we're also seeing oversaturation and, admit what I'm the dude in front of the bookshelf, right? Like there's a lot of us out there. And now there are channels who are actually more comparable to production companies with camera people and moderators and editors and social media correspondents, and they are companies. And even some individuals out there are wildly talented in areas that frankly I'm not. There are people building animation sets and just doing incredible stuff with cinematography and editing, and people only have so much watch time in their day to give up. So
and maybe that's a shift in the industry, because a lot of YouTube is like us, just gamers who really are passionate about RPGs, and so our strength is what we know, but we're just delivering it as talking heads. And there's a new generation on YouTube who grew up with YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So you got a whole generation of folks who started watching YouTube when they were middle schoolers, wanted to get into social media in high school, started learning about social media in high school, went to college for either film or production, right? Actually got degrees in this shit. And now those folks are making YouTube videos with the kind of knowledge that you would take to get a job at a film studio, right? But instead, while they're waiting to get a job at a film studio, they're making YouTube comments or YouTube content to show off their skills, right? So yeah. So across all of YouTube, I think you're getting a lot more of these like professional style animated videos. So yeah, it's interesting, how things are progressing and changing from back when it was like, just Matt Colville and Runehammer and the Taking 20 guy who's no longer around. Is he still around?
He came back for a second. And Delver did a great video about that. And WebDM, man, I miss those guys. I mean, they're still
they were great.
it, but that was kind of one of my favorites. But yeah, I mean, this is bleeding edge technology, and it's always adapting. It's always evolving. It would have been unthinkable maybe like 15 years ago now that I could sit here and broadcast my BS to the world, right? And have a conversation with you 1,000 miles away and people all around the world through the chat. Like, it's incredible. So yeah, it's not a great time to start a YouTube channel or be making a YouTube channel if you're trying to, I don't know, become rich and or famous. However, I still I gave my buddy some equipment the other day, like to start his. Like, if you are trying to make cool stuff and connect with people and maybe even start to like form community around the cool stuff that you're making, there's still very few opportunities out there remotely like what this platform is. And like, you don't need the silver play button behind you to feel successful. Hanging out with a number of people that would make you feel super uncomfortable if you were making eye contact and speaking in public at them is incredible. Like, a community of a dozen people hanging out is fantastic. So I'm still a big fan of getting involved in YouTube.
Yeah, and that's why I show up every week. It was like, obviously we're not making money off of this thing at all, but it's fun and I'm passionate about it. And like, I feel like you guys in chat, like, you guys are our friends. Like, we've talked to you outside of this show. Some of you played games with some of you. And yeah, it definitely feels like a community. And I think that's, in this chaotic world we live in, community is essential for your sanity.
So I make money. Quincy's poking at us for not making money. I make money off of the books, and I do okay, not good, let alone great. YouTube pays for the electricity, actually, YouTube was paying for the electricity. Numbers go down. And I consider that an incredible success, right? Like, I think a lot of people, I don't know, you're never going to be a millionaire talking about TTRPGs on the internet. Sorry about it. But you can have a damn good time, and you get paid anything. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I think when my channel was at its best, I was making like $100 a month off of YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's you can chase down, most of the people are making money not from YouTube sending you a check, but from deals they've worked out with advertisers otherwise.
Right. Yeah. The actual AdSense, you're not making much on YouTube, but yeah, like,
nope.
You're right. It's about sponsorships. It's about ad placement, and it's about like building the community that you can then sell other content to, like Ryan's books, right? Someday UDare is going to be hugely successful, and we'll pay ourselves back for all this time.
That's it, man. Like, you kind of have to throw the money side of it away. Like,
yeah,
you have to be business minded if you are trying to like make it sustainable and not like drive yourself into a hole, because like it's not actually free to do this. You might have most of what you need to start, but you're very quickly going to start spending money. Um, but yeah, people who are doing this for a living, a couple names in chat are it's a name, but it's actually a company, and that's very easy to forget because I know some of us in here are on the fence about starting a channel or not. And I encourage it as an incredible creative project that's going to connect you to people you have never connected with otherwise. That you're going to gain insight. Like you want to know something inside and out, teach it to somebody else. Like
Yeah.
try to speak eloquently about a thing and spend that much time studying it, and you're going to come out with just so much more wisdom and insight about the process and other people's perspectives, like the things that I've learned about other people through this that have nothing to do with TTRPGs.
Hmm.
It was worth the price of admission for me.
Yeah. And for me, this whole YouTube venture, like 4 years now, for me, it was I had significant health issues, and because of those significant health issues, I was significantly depressed, and I needed a creative outlet. And it literally, like 3 years worth of YouTube changed my life, like because it helped me get out of my depression. Because I needed a creative outlet, I needed to like make new friends and build a community like we're talking about, and it was instrumental for me to like pull out of my depression. And my life has changed dramatically since my depression has ended. Like this year alone, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm working out in the gym. I just hit a new personal record of bench pressing 200 pounds.
Nice.
And my body weight is down to 210. So I am only 10 pounds away from being able to bench press my body weight.
One way or the other, just 5 and 5, and you're there, man.
Yeah. So yeah, my life outside of YouTube has changed dramatically because of the 3 years previous to this one that I spent being creative and building community, connecting with people that really helped me get out of my depression.
Man, and I love to hear that. I mean, yeah, that resonates with me so much. And like, obviously, I care about you. Like, we become good friends in this journey, and that's such a parallel to TTRPGs, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone is, hey, Critical Role is the most popular thing on Twitch. Like, you can make money from this, and it muddies the water to a degree, and it's so much harder to value the things you can't put a number on. It's so easy to think about dollars and views, but like the 3 hours you go spend with your friends just blowing off steam might be the best thing you do all week for yourself, for your spirit or soul, or definitely your brain, probably your body. It depends. Sometimes I go pretty hard on the snacks, so it's not the best. But yeah, man, we at least here in America, I know we're an international audience, but like I don't think we value that enough, and that is the reason. I mean, that's at the heart of what we're doing every Friday, man. That's why we hang out here. It's just super valuable, and you can't put a price on it. And yeah, man, you got to eat, you got to pay the bills, but you also got to keep your head on straight. And yeah, you gotta feed your heart. So I'm happy for you, man. That's fucking awesome. Like, that's great. Proof of concept.
Yeah. Well, and that's why the tagline on my YouTube channel is saving the world one game at a time.
And it's almost like, I don't know, embarrassing to talk about, or like cringe to talk about. Like, I always, especially in like scripting, I'm always like sneaking around the edges of the magic of it all. But like the secondary and tertiary things of just playing a game, being creative, using your imagination, using these muscles that have atrophied for people in childhood who don't do this anymore, and spending time with people that you care about. Is maybe the purpose of all of this. Maybe the reason. It's maybe what we're supposed to be doing most of the time. We're just a bunch of monkeys who figured out how to make fire and tell stories around it, and that's what makes us special.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you from like literal clinical experience as a therapist, One of the classes I taught Marines when I worked at a Navy hospital was imagery rehearsal training. It's a treatment designed to eliminate nightmares. And what you do is you teach people how to create guided imagery exercises that they design themselves, specifically tailored to make their reoccurring nightmares go away. So in that treatment, you're literally training people to use their imagination while they're awake so that they can control their dreams while they're asleep. It sounds like science fiction, but it works. And I've done it with hundreds of Marines over the course of 7 years. And that goes to show that your imagination has power over how your brain thinks and feels in the future. What you imagine now can transform how you feel tomorrow. And literal science backs that up.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, it is incredibly therapeutic, right? Here's a note. He is a therapist, I'm not. But as not a therapist, I am going to put a disclaimer out. D&D is not therapy. You should go to therapy, and you should definitely not expect your dungeon master to be your therapist. A lot of Reddit horror stories are just like, oh, go to therapy. Don't bring that baggage with you to the table.
Yeah,
I would that for.
I would say D&D is not therapy, but it is therapeutic.
Yes,
that's how I would say it.
And it doesn't, and it's like the difference between like medicinal and nutritional is almost in timing. Like it's good for you, even if you're not trying to, maybe even better for you if you're not trying to like use it to resolve some deep-seated trauma or emotional baggage from childhood or whatever. Like if you're just trying to feel more, I don't know, efficacious in the world, right? You want to feel more agency and power and practice creative problem solving. And I don't know, just walk around feeling awesome and good. Yeah, I don't know, not a lot of other ways to do that in a better way.
Yeah, well, so there's kind of I just got an echo there. There's kind of two parts to therapy, and that's, there's the kind of reactive part where you're doing treatment. You have these symptoms, we're trying to eliminate those symptoms, right? So that's reactive. But then there's the proactive part of therapy where, like, once you're stable, what are you going to do next? How are you going to make your life even better now that you've shed some of these symptoms, right? And I think role-playing games fit into that proactive therapeutic approach. Like, it's not going to heal your old wounds, but it's going to help you be creative, be connected, and that is going to create a better headspace moving forward. So it's a proactive therapeutic thing in my mind.
Yeah, incredible. Chat is on fire. Carl Jung is a DM. Incredible. I love this idea. I will say Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung might be my like gateway back into mythology. Great 1-2 punch. Okay. All right. So we got real and like carrying this momentum forward into the new year, which I believe is 2026. I'm so confused now about what year it is and what it will be. Do you, Brad and Chat, have any New Year's resolutions in the TTRPG space, or otherwise, I suppose? But what's on deck for 2026?
So, well, to talk a little bit about like resolutions when it comes to RPGs, just kind of explain my recent journey, because one thing, a couple years ago I went to Green Dragon Fest and got to hang out with a bunch of cool dungeon tubers and DMs, and that inspired me to push myself, right? Like when 5th edition came out and Matt Colville was on YouTube and Hanker and Fernell, that was one of the times where I like, okay, I need to grow as a DM. I'm going to push myself. And then I kind of settled in and really owned 5th edition for almost 10 years. But then I went to Green Dragon Fest and I hung out with all these cool people. And it's like, I need to push myself again. I need to become a better DM again. And so it's like stair steps, right? Stair steps of growth as a dungeon master. So this past year, what I tried to do differently was to use my laptop more. I'm classically a pencil paper guy. I have been for like 40 years plus of playing D&D. And yeah, so for the first time, well, I guess it was a few years back when I was first making YouTube content, I started using my laptop and creating hyperlinks in Google Docs to create a campaign method. And that you can see some of that on my YouTube channel, the campaign diary stuff. I show how I use like Google Docs to track my campaign. So I came up with that method. I showed it off on YouTube for a while. But it wasn't until last year that I really I need to get this laptop fired up again and really use it. And so that was kind of my journey last year of like looking at more digital options to kind of spice up my tabletop play. And for next year, it's music. I've tinkered around with like using ambient music to like set the mood and the tone, especially now that we're playing Vampire the Masquerade. So yeah, that's my goal for next year is I want to use more music at my gaming table and building playlists for different themes, like working on a tavern playlist and a city playlist and a forest playlist, that kind of stuff.
I love that. I recently started using music again in my online game. My in-person games, it would be socially unacceptable to be blasting music because there's already music playing and 100 other things going on. But they killed the bot that I used on Discord forever to run music. So I went without for a while. And recently in my Curse of Strahd campaign, just because it's so particular atmospheric vibe that I'm going for and like trying to start and reinforce throughout play. And man, it makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. I've got two pieces of advice for you and folks at home. One, consider starting another Spotify account or whatever your thing is of choice, so that when you are listening to music the rest of the time, you're not getting crazy Scandinavian battle music in with, Bob Dylan and Billy Joel or whatever you're into. Taylor Swift and the Riders of Rohan are just like a little culture clash. So try to individuate the streams a little bit. The other thing that I experimented with for a while, mixed results, good and bad, but I delegated that for a while to a player. Like, hey, battle music, right? Hey, we're going to the tavern, whatever. And that one pulls either like a super engaged player who's like on the border of being a DM, just a little bit closer to the other side of the screen, or it can bring a player who's like maybe a little more of like an audience member or has like a little more distraction or attention going on. They need to be occupied a little bit more. And if you got too much to manage, but music would be cool, like you're allowed to tell your players to like contribute to the game itself. But I love that. That's great. That's great. I'll send you some recommendations.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Amrosa 10. Looks like they're going to try to DM for the first time. Is that how I'm reading that?
That's my favorite thing.
Their role for 2026 is the new basic set to DM a game. All right.
Ooh. Hey, stay tuned. I will help you with that. But don't wait for me. Start immediately. However, I am going to spoilers for 2026. Well, I guess this is a resolution. It's more of like a to-do thing. I'm pretty confident I'm going to do it, right? Resolutions are things you're a little more shaky on. But yeah, I'm going to make a basic a beginner's box tutorial video. I've got a lot of it scripted. This particular starter set for 2024, say what you will about D&D 2024, the starter set does something very interesting that I haven't seen anything else do, where it's like, here is something that is built ostensibly to be run by multiple dungeon masters. Hey, you can sit around a table and trade who's running the game. And I'm trying to, even though I doubt the majority of people using it are going to do it that way, I'm trying to make the series work with that without too much of the opportunity cost of avoiding spoilers. So it's been complicated, but that's coming from the Vertigo Stable in 2026. Because yeah, man, everyone should run the game. If you've been playing for a while and you've never run, the perspective you gain, the joy that you obtain from the game is orders of magnitude more. Even if you go right back to being a player, you're going to understand things much more. You're going to be a better player having run the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're a DM and haven't played in a long time, being a player once in a while makes you a better dungeon master.
That is true. It definitely is true. When I get a little burned out on DMing, I'll jump into a friend's game or go play some one shots or whatever. And it doesn't take more than like 1 or 2 sessions before I'm like, oh, I'm ready to get back behind the screen, right? Like and I think it's my ADHD. Like the thing about being a dungeon master is you are engaged every turn, right? As a player, you take your turn, and then you're an observer as everybody else is taking their turn, and that's harder for me to pay attention to because of my ADHD. So like, but when I'm a game master, like I am full charge, full tilt all the time, and my brain loves that overstimulation, right? That's where my ADHD goes into hyper focus mode, and that's when it feels best.
Same. I mean, I'm not diagnosed, but I don't know. It's all a spectrum, right? Right? What is typical as far as neurology goes, or anything for that matter. But I'm a dungeon master main. Like I prefer being a DM for those reasons that you enunciated. Like it's the best. Just go do it. Just everybody go do it. It may be a way to practice that. My resolution for 2026 is I'm going to try because this is maybe my biggest blind spot in this space, this hobby right now, is solo gaming. Not only a thing that I've never done. I mean, I've like looked at it. I've read the forums on it. I've never done it, and I've almost been like, I almost have an aversion to it. It's just like, oh, I have people I play with on a regular basis, and that's a blessing. And I don't want to take that for granted, but like I don't need to play solo because I have a regular game, and playing by yourself is for people who can't, or for whatever reason, get a group of people together, and that's an assumption I made somewhere along the way, or was made for me, and I accepted whole cloth. And there's some really cool stuff out there, and there are people who've been doing it for years. There's channels of people playing solo and projecting out their story. There's a lot of cool creative stuff, and if nothing else, my hypothesis is there's a lot to learn there in being the player and the dungeon master at the same time. I don't know. It's like one step beyond DM prep, or maybe several steps above DM prep, but it's like practice, and maybe super fulfilling. But yeah, any recommendations, chat, hit me, be it channels or games. I'm looking at Ironsworn, seems to be a very popular choice.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Kelsey did a solo play rule set for Shadowdark.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And as much as
I'll mess with Shadowdark.
As much as you run like old school adventures and run Dolmenwood adventures, you could probably use like ideas from those adventures and use Kelsey's Shadowdark solo play rules to kind of test out an adventure in solo play before you run it for your players.
I love that. Yeah, it's funny because I have test drove adventures that I've made. Like if I'm publishing something, I'll run the combats a bunch of times. Like I'll not only do the math, but I will like run through it, try to like poke holes in it. And I never considered that solo play, which is funny. Maybe because it felt like work. I was trying to break the thing. But yeah, Solo Dark is that's interesting. That's interesting. That might be a good one. Because like I build oracles essentially. Like it was one of my favorite things to do. Like this is a solo tool set that
Right.
I've messed with that a bunch of times, but it's not like I've never played a solo play TTRPG. And in that Humble Bundle we were talking about last week, there were a few. And I was like, you
Nice.
know what? Maybe it's time. Like I do like to grow and expand, right? And that means
Yeah.
like getting out of your comfort zone, pushing a little bit. Yeah, I like what you're bringing to the table there of just like dungeon being a dungeon master means constantly working at it. It means mastering this thing. It doesn't mean like you've graduated and achieved it and here's your certificate. It means like there's always room to improve. There's always some aspect of this game, these games, this hobby that you can be, I don't know, just enjoy getting more out of somehow or another.
From playing in person, do you have a bunch of miniatures?
I don't have a ton of miniatures. It's funny. Again, about delegation, I have a buddy who that is like maybe his favorite part of the game, right? So like I had the day I moved to the city to find some friends here. I put up a post, set up a game. 3 people showed up. 4 people showed up that first night. One buddy had almost like a tackle box, like a toolbox full of minis, and my buddy Chris, who, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, had 2 of those had totes. He brought like terrain and minis and all sorts of, and like I was running the game, right? So at first I was like, you guys, we might have different expectations of how this is going to go, but it was like went very swimmingly. So my buddy Mike prints a ton of miniatures and plays stuff and is very good at, if I'm running a published thing or like someone else is running right now for us, there are lists out there. People should know that there's a resource. You can look up what monsters are in here without getting spoilers. There's some degree of spoiler of like, I knew there was a purple worm coming because I painted it 3 weeks ago, but you don't know when it's going to pop out or whatever.
Right.
So I'm lucky in that. I don't
That's
have,
cool.
I don't have that side of the thing. You're a big mini guy or terrain guy?
Yeah, like all those boxes behind me are full of terrain, and there's the wall. All my monster miniatures are on this wall over here on the bookshelves. But what I was going to suggest is there are also like solo play skirmish games, like that Forbidden Psalm I mentioned earlier. You mentioned Rangers of Shadow Deep. There's also 5 Leagues from the Borderlands, which is crazy comprehensive. Like 5 Leagues from the Borderlands like helps you build a local setting. So like where the towns are and like where the dungeons are and where like the various like factions are. So you can also do like it's much more skirmish gamey than it is RPG, but there's a lot of those solo play skirmish games that are miniature agnostic. You can use whatever miniatures you want with them. So I didn't know if that would fit into your solo play goal.
Honestly, that might be more interesting to me because I think the hurdle is like, why don't I just like write instead, right? It feels more like a creative exercise, a creative writing exercise, than a game in my admittedly uneducated view. But having a more rigorous rule set, I guess, or like having a more strategic level to the play might actually make it more interesting, like setting up the chessboard.
If you do want that more creative writing type, there's solo games like 2000-Year-Old Vampire, which is really a series of creative writing exercises. So it's like it's technically an RPG because you're playing a character in a fictional setting, but it's mostly like writing prompts, and like you kind of build your way through this game, and by the end you have a handwritten story about your character's experience. I have never played it. It's on my list to try, but I want to.
And that right there, I think, is the unlock for me of like, if I could play all like, there's a bunch of these games that like I haven't played yet, and I'm like almost like most of them are out of the shot because I feel like, I don't know, imposter syndrome representing them. But the idea of like, oh, there's a way to do this without coordinating with a bunch of other busy adults. And I could do it piecemeal and not feel obligated about like, well, I said I was going to do this for 4 hours, but like, I want to go home now. Like, whatever. That right now feels like one of the major appeals to it. Not that I can't go play, but like for me to get more gaming in my life and not give up something else giant that I really enjoy, it has to be pretty lightweight and flexible. And doing something by yourself, I think, is as modular as it gets as far as gaming goes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an exciting venture for the new year for you. Anybody else in chat have new things they want to try as a dungeon master, or new games that they're looking forward to in the new year?
Yeah, I've been loving chat's been cooking today, and it's great.
What is
Artifact?
What is Artifact? Twin Steel mentioned that. Now I'm curious. I gotta look it up.
Yeah, check it out. It makes it. Is it one of the? Is it part of the Microscope suite? Not Microscope. Yeah, Microscope.
Let's see.
Okay.
A story game for one player designed for contemplative solo play. Interesting.
Contemplative. Yeah, Chad, I'm trying to catch up with you. We asked you a question, and then you guys got in a good conversation. Some cool recommendations in chat.
This says it's a great way to spend an hour sketching, world building, and storytelling in your own company. It's also a fantastic way to generate really unique items for tabletop games like D&D. Yeah, okay, so now I see what Twin Steel is saying. Like you play that game and you generate content for your Shadow Dark, D&D, Draw Steel, Daggerheart, whatever game starts with D that you play.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so cultural products. I suppose playing alone might exercise some game-related skills, so maybe parallel with practicing a skill like an instrument, but it feels like a stretch. And like, I agree with you. I think maybe it's more akin to, hey, this is a different way to DM prep. Really, like the thing I think I'll bring to the table is like, oh, here's a cool, I don't know. This NPC is much more developed now that I ran him through a solo mission or something. But I don't know, right? Like it's so easy to dismiss the value of learning your scales, right? Until you do, and you're like, oh, I am so much better at this now. And yeah, explore it. I think this is kind of part of why I realize it's so foolish of me to be averse to solo play. Quote, there is a weird part where the world building and faction play is a dungeon master solo play. And that's a thing I've told a bunch of people, like, hey, you know what the fun thing about being a dungeon master is I'm playing at least twice as much D&D as you. And in some senses, I never stop because like you guys play for 3 hours and then for the rest of the week, all right, what's Strahd going to do because you did that? It's a background process that's always running.
Yeah, that was that was the thing is like I still can, like I can entertain myself wherever I go, right? If I get stuck and I'm bored, sure, I could pull out my phone and doom scroll, but how much more fun is it to be like, oh, I've got 30 minutes to kill. What are my players going to do next session? What did they do last session? How can I add a plot twist in here? What is my NPCs going to be like, right? If I'm on a long drive by myself, I practice my NPC voices. While I'm practicing their voice, I can develop their character. I can talk in the NPC's voice about themselves, like they're talking to themselves, to flesh out that character, right? There's a lot of ways your DM prep can be like an entertaining side project wherever you go. Whenever you're somewhere and you're like, I got an hour to kill before my plane takes off. Let me pull out my phone and pull up my Google slideshow and like, organize my NPCs and my factions and however you structure your campaign prep. It's always game on whenever you got time to like immerse yourself in your own world.
I don't know if I'm alone in this. I doubt I am. Chat, get at me. But I've done the weird like, oh, I don't want you to see what I'm looking at, which I'm sure people are looking at plenty of stuff on their phone that they don't want other people to look at. Usually it's like some weird monster art. This is like, I don't want them to know I'm a nerd. In the in line at the grocery store, we're waiting to check out. It's just like, what is the lore with these weird little demons? It's just like, I'm looking at demons. I'm a grown man, and I'm looking at a cartoon of a demon. But like, there's so much worse stuff that can come off that screen. So it's a great use of my time.
Yeah, you could always get one of those screen protectors that like you can't see from an angle. Like it makes it dark if you look at it from the wrong angle.
The thing like the doctor uses so to keep like HIPAA compliant.
Yeah,
like, I should get one of those.
Well, my wife's a teacher, right? So she got one of those because she doesn't want students to see what's popping up on her phone. And now like I can't see what's popping up on her phone, so now I'm like being nosy. I'm like, what
are you doing over there?
What are you doing?
What are you checking out? Ooh, this is a great rec. So another game. Actually, I might have picked this up I might have got it last year. We were talking about this before the show. I didn't mention Dragonbane because I wasn't sure when I got my hands on it. It might be more than 12 months ago. But Dragonbane's Monster Manual. It's not the only... I've seen Hex Flowers of monster moves too. I don't think they invented it, but the idea that you roll a d6 for what the monster's next attack is is the solution to a Claw Bite. Oh my god. Yeah. Every monster is interesting and unique, and every fight is different because of that little mechanism. Dragonbane has a lot of cool stuff going on, but that is my favorite part of it. Check it out. For I'm going to use it for solo play. That's a brilliant idea. But even if you're just looking for like, it's a pretty a lot of your vanilla monsters are represented there. So even if you're trying to lift them into another game, it's a cool way to get ideas to make your monsters more interesting. Good call. Zrodin.
The what was it? The Alien RPG does that as well. Where you roll I think it's either a D6 or D8. I'm pretty sure it's a D6. You roll to see what the creatures do. And so like I remember playing and I guess the DM just kept rolling the same number a lot. So the aliens were kind of doing the same attacks over and over again. And then at one point, he rolls, and because the queen was present, one of the xenomorphs leaped at us and ripped its own chest open to spray acid all over us. Like that was one of the attacks that was on the queen's list. Is a nearby xenomorph sacrifices themselves to spray acid on you. I was like, that's badass.
I love that. I didn't know the monster could do that moment is one of my favorite hits. One of my grab bag of trip special moves is having like, I don't know, it's good for goblins, right? Having the Goblin King just like throwing a goblin in front of himself to like, all right, yeah, you hit him for what was that sneak attack damage? 36? No, he's gonna. The minion took that. Yep. He'll live to fight one more round. Yeah, you know something about him.
That Goblin Boss special ability, I have put that on so many monsters over the years as either like a legendary action or a layer action. 100%. I take the mechanics of that and I'll put it on almost every boss monster I have. And it's always fun when you pull that off.
God, yeah, we should one episode next year. We should just do like monster special moves because that's I love that stuff. Like just like even if it's suboptimal, it's just cool stuff. Like I'll have a giant throw a guy all the time. The giant if it's a giant and it succeeds on a grapple, it could just toss you. I don't care if it's like falling. If it's 2d6, it's still dope. You're 20 feet away. You hit your buddy, then you both take 2d6, and now you feel like you're fighting a giant. He's not just like hitting you with a club or something.
Yeah, one of my favorite monster mechanics is the Otyugh, where with its tentacles it can pick up two characters at the same time, and if it succeeds on both, it smashes them together. I love that. That's like my favorite monster move.
More of that, please.
Yes.
God. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about 2026 before we wrap up for Brad or Direden or both?
So crazy. I've been so focused on like my birthday's in November, so we went to a film festival this year for my birthday, and we went to Key West for Thanksgiving, and now we're like rolling into Christmas. I've been so focused on all that activity. I haven't even thought about the new year yet. Like that's not true. Like I do know what I'm doing YouTube wise in 2026. And unfortunately, to let you guys know, it's not gonna be D&D stuff. I'm gonna keep doing Casual Fridays because I love you guys, and I love RPGs, and I'm never gonna stop talking about RPGs. But I'm gonna launch a new YouTube channel, probably second quarter next year, dealing with like mental health and healthy masculinity is the plan. So yeah, so come January, I'm gonna hit the ground running, creating content for a launch sometime like late March, early April.
I love that for you and the world. We need that. That is exactly what we need right now. Yeah, incredible. That's very exciting. I mean, it's bittersweet. We'll miss. I'm sure there'll be an occasional Direden video anyway, but yeah, man. Good luck with that. That's exciting. That's really exciting. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think there'll be at least one more Direden video that I hope you guys can help me circulate, and it's going to be what I was talking about earlier. And, it's probably going to have a thumbnail of like D&D saved my life, of talking about how like I pulled myself out of my depression by doing that 3-year stretch of Direden. And I feel like that's a great way to kind of wrap up the channel. Of course, I haven't put out content in a long time, so no one's going to see it unless you guys help me get it out there. So yeah. So once I create that, I'll share it with all of you, and hopefully that message gets out, and then I'll be off to a whole new journey in the YouTube space, but taking everything I learned here and hopefully reaching a much larger audience with a healthy, positive message. But yeah, at the very least, it's going to help my private practice grow, and I'll get more clients, and I'll make more money in my actual job.
Because if you learned nothing else this episode, that's why we do this.
Use YouTube to promote the thing that actually makes money. Don't try to make money on AdSense.
Yeah, it makes you feel better. But for real, I am super excited. I am sure I'm speaking for a lot of people when I say we're pumped to see that and help spread the word and the message. Because like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard it today. Like, it's just like, oh man, maybe this should be the show. Like, yeah, go do that. Yeah, go make that show, man. That's super exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we both know what an endeavor it is to transition to a new thing and to like start a YouTube channel or anything. So yeah, big, momentous, exciting, arduous in some ways. Like it's a gauntlet, and I'm pumped for you to come out the other side and to see what that's like.
Yeah, well, having done Direden for 3 years, and Casual Friday, I think we're almost on the 2-year mark for Casual Friday. Aren't we getting
Oof,
there?
I don't know. Time is all Jeremy. I mean, I don't have no idea what's going on.
But
What year is it?
I definitely have learned a ton of what not to do. So
Hmm.
yeah, I have a strategy to approach the launch of the new channel, and I'm gonna avoid a lot of mistakes that I made getting started with Dire Den. So hopefully it grows fast. And like I said, even if it doesn't, it's like I'm getting my brand out there and driving more people towards my private practice. So, which is ultimately a good thing. People getting help, getting better.
Heck yeah. Oh God. Love it. Love you. Love everybody out there. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. If you're watching this in June, happy. Enjoy. I don't care what time of year it is. Yeah, man, just hang out and make cool stuff. And if we're lucky, the rest follows. That's been my experience for the most part. I don't know. We're still kicking. It's going pretty good. All things considered, could be a lot worse. And yeah, we will see you in 2026.
All right.